Welcome. It's another episode. Oh, wait. We're having some technical difficulties there. There we go. Hi. All right. So we are live this week. So happy to be live. And we've got some great questions. Let me pull up the email of questions. Dun, 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 dun. All right, so our first question comes from Tom. Hi, Tom. And the question is, if you could design a game to solve any workplace issue, what would it be and why? Ooh, such a good question, right? Okay, so Tom, if I could design a game to solve any workplace issue, it would be actually a game that I've actually designed, which is a game around connection. Because I think the biggest problem that people have in the workplace, especially now being remote as well as being on site, which is what we've been calling the hybrid sort of situation. I think for people that becomes a really difficult challenge, right? How do I build connection with others? How do I get to know the people that I'm working with? And so I designed a game called Talking to Strangers CG. And CG stands for Christopher Gill. And he was the inspiration for the game and also the book that the title comes from, which is the Malcolm Gladwell Talking to Strangers book, is the game and the program that I designed. And it's really about how do we build connections with people? How do we accelerate the ability to trust and the ability to work together? And when I say trust, I'm not talking about predictive trust, but I'm talking about vulnerability-based trust, which Brene Brown and Patrick Lencioni's work, both of those authors and speakers, their work is around. So that's the game I would build. And the why is really to help people be able to understand each other, to help focus on our diversity of experience, our diversity of knowledge. I think that's a great way to be able to do that. So that's the game that I would design. I hope that answers your question, Tom. And then it says, oh, if you can pick, okay, this is a question from Frank. If you could pick one game to play for every team building session, what would it be and why? I definitely think that the best team building game actually did not start off as a game. I mean, I'm going to give credit where credit is due. It's Patrick Lencioni's A Personal History. And so I love this activity, and it is gamified because it requires each person to share. And I love that as a primer. I don't believe in calling them icebreakers. I call it a primer because it's helping people go back to the basics and go back to the foundation of things. And so the personal history is such a great activity that I love to do with not just team building, but anytime I have a group of people that maybe have worked together for a long time or have never worked together or are teaming for the first time. It's a great way to get people to get to know each other, to be able to learn a little bit about each other, and not in a high stakes way, not in a way that makes people uncomfortable. So I'll just share the activity. It's 3 questions. The first question, actually, I'll even do more than that. Let me sneak over here. I made, when I do this and I do it live, I actually made a board that I drew the questions in. So you can sort of see that here while I'm behind the board talking. So the first question is, where do you come from? The second one is your birth order and how many siblings you have. And the third one is about a childhood experience. Now, in Patrick's book, he actually talks about a challenging childhood experience. What I have found in doing this, and again, the table group's a great group. This is Patrick Lencioni's group. They may disagree with this, but what I found in doing this with over hundreds of people, I shouldn't say hundreds of people, is that depending on where people are in their trust level of an organization, just having them talk about a childhood experience and not making it a challenging one or a positive one allows people to really think about the first thing that comes to mind and share that experience. I know when I've done it, I have shared different experiences each time. And I love doing this activity. So, Frank, what I would say is that would be the activity that I would do. I think that's a really good activity for people to be able to get to know each other and to learn a little bit more about each other. Okay. And let's see. Let's pull out another question. You can tell I don't pre-check the questions. It's whatever comes up. So I kind of pick which one I want to I want to talk about and answer. So submit your questions because I will use them. Okay, so I love this question, and this is from Gabby. And Gabby says, can games really help in resolving conflict? And could you give an example? I love this question because it really dives deep into conflict resolution and conflict management through gamification. And yes, so the quick answer to your question is yes, it can alleviate some conflict and tension by using games. And here's why. A couple of reasons why. So it's not just a one and done why. The first why is that in play, when we're playing, and I want you to kind of think back to when you were a kid, Gabby, when we play, we actually think about nothing but the game. And when we pick teammates or when we work with people, we're just thinking about the game. And so that's also a really important point. The other thing is that in play, we are focused on how to win the game or the rules of the game, the eventual outcome of the game. And so we're less focused around the conflicts, and games create conflict. And so it does help to resolve because the whole nature of gameplay is to create conflict, is to create that intensity. So I love that as well as a modality. The third reason why gamification or game-based learning is wonderful for conflict resolution and to help people with conflict is that it allows people to come out of themselves. When we're in conflict, we're spinning in our heads. What did I do? What did they do? Why did they think this? Like there's a whole stream of consciousness that's going on. When we're playing, it forces us to focus on the task at hand, which means we're freeing up those mental blocks around was I right? They're wrong. I don't like them, all that stuff, because I'm now focused on what I'm doing, the task at hand. And that allows people to really think differently about the people that they're in conflict with. It allows them to begin to think about positive intent, especially how you create the game, right? If you're creating it specifically for conflict resolution and conflict management. So those are a couple of reasons why gaming in terms of conflict resolution is really useful and important. But the main reason is that through play, we resolve the conflict. And that's ultimately, if I'm reading the question right, that's ultimately what you want is the resolution of the conflict. And that's the key there. So I love these questions, and thank you so much for these questions. And if you have questions for me next Monday, we are live on Mondays. So please share those questions either via DM or in the comments, or you can email. We do take carrier pigeons and owls. You can send an owl if you're a Harry Potter fan, for us to be able to answer those questions, for my team to submit the questions to me, for me to be able to answer the questions, I should say. And then one last note, I would love to talk a little bit about what today is. Today is actually World Kindness Day. And it's a day that's set aside to really talk about how can we show up in the world with kindness, with care. And it's not about being nice. I think I'll probably do next Monday. I did have a question on this. So the question next Monday will be around the difference between nice and kind. I have an actual graphic that I will share around that. But the key here is that when we are kind, we're coming from a place of positive intent. We're coming from a place of looking at you, not focused on me. So I'll do a real quick preview. Nice is about me wanting you to like me. Kind is about how can I support you. It's nothing to do with whether or not you like me or not like me. And that's not the focus of the intention. And so that's the key, is that when we talk about kindness, and as a globe, we talk about how we can be kind, it is less about an I focus, a me focus, and it's really about a we focus and a you focus. How on this day can I help others see the value in themselves, see the value in the work that they do, and more importantly, really share the human experience. So on today's World Kindness Day, I would love for you to reach out to someone you haven't reached out to in a very long time and thank them for being in the world. Thank them for doing whatever it is that they do, whatever is great about them. Thank them for that. And with that, I will say have a wonderful week. Happy Monday, and see you next Monday with Monday with Marie. Bye.